Hi, I want to talk with you for a moment, and I want to talk about stories. Have you ever had this experience in your life? You were struggling with something, or you were trying to work through something in your life, or you had some challenges, and along comes a story. Whether it's a story that you read, or a story that someone told you, or a story in a movie, or something. And this story, of what was happening in this story, really moved you and had you see things in a different way. Well, I had one of those stories in my life, and I'm about to tell it to you. And it's a very short story, but it was very powerful because I heard it at a time I was really wrestling with my work with people and my judgment and my disappointment about people should be acting a certain way or doing a certain thing or being a certain way with each other. So I was going through my whole thing about seeing people and how separate and different they were. And then I heard this story. And it really made a huge difference. So here's the story. There was this great Zen master, and he was visiting from Japan. And he was visiting in California. And he went to one of our great national parks. It's called Yosemite. Some of you may have heard of it, but it's in the Sierra Madre Mountains, and it's Sierra Nevada Mountains, and it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. Truly, and truly magnificent. When you enter the canyon of Yosemite Canyon, there's a place where you can pull over and park your car and stand and see the whole valley. And the whole valley is filled with waterfalls from each side, falling great distances down into the valley and joining a river in the valley. The Zen monk the Zen master was watching this waterfall, and he turned to his companion, a Zen monk, and he said to his companion, "This is like life." He was truly moved. And he said, "This is so much like life." He says, as you watch these waterfalls, pick a waterfall, and you see that the water flows together in a river. And he said, that's like us human beings. It's like we're flow together as this river. Then going over the edge of the fall is like being born. And the fall, as the water falls slowly, that's the length of a lifetime. And then together, at the end of our lives, we flow together again as a river. And he said that one of the greatest problems, one of the greatest things people struggle with, is that when we're born, we see ourselves as separate from each other. Like millions of tiny drops of water going over the fall, we see ourselves as separate. And then at the bottom of the fall, there's this mist that comes up from the water, and the sun shining off that mist creates a rainbow. And he said that rainbow is the beauty of each single drop. And he said that rainbow is like who we are. That each of our personalities and each of who we are contributes something to the whole. But he said the biggest thing that's missing for us is we forget that we came from a source and we're going to return to a source. That we forget that we're connected to each other no matter the differences we see. And I thought about that. It was a life-changing experience because I could take a look at how much of my judgment and how much of the way I was with people created that illusion of separateness. Of course, I could gather around me a small group of people that agreed with me. But in the bigger picture, if we keep in mind, and if I keep in mind that we're really connected, and that also the individuality contributes incredibly to who we are, that then my work becomes more meaningful. My work with people and my relationships with people and my experience with people. And I'm glad to tell you this story because maybe it has some meaning to you. Maybe you could look in your life and see how much judgment, social media and all the stuff that's going on. You don't have to go very far to see the us and them and the separation and all the kind of stuff that seems so real and so solid. But in actuality, if we look deeper, we're all looking as human beings for the same thing. We want to feel that our life matters. We want to feel that we've created a successful life that's happy, that we want to include the people around us, and that we want our life to make a difference and who we are to make a difference on the planet in some way, even if it's the smallest way. That's what I believe about all of us as human beings. And we put so much in the way. So I hope this story has helped, and you can remember this one because I have to remind myself a lot. Thank you.